jy het 'n vraesteltjie, 'n vraagie en 'n antwoord bladsy gekry. We are practicing the statement of financial position. Ons gaan die staat van finansiële posisie oefen. Remember, I've told you that the test is just on term 2's work. So ek kan mos nou dit vra in jou toets. So ek wag vir die skerm om aan te gaan. Dit miskien aansoek sal dit werk. I've printed 28. I know we are 28 in the class, so those who are not here are not here. Ek het 28 geprint en ek het hier so 'n paar extras oor. Kan niks daaromtrent doen nie. Right. Dis wat ek vir die screen te laat op. Ek wil hê jy moet saam met my deur die inligting gaan. Remember, this can be in your test. Even if I don't ask the full statement, kan ek mos 'n stukkie van die staat vra, né? So it's 2 questions. One question is statement of comprehensive income sharing the profit. 'n Ander vraag gaan hieroor moet gaan. Other question will be on this. So jy vir look how. Right. Can you please look at the information supplied? Kan jy saam met my kyk na die inligting asseblief? Let's say for the volgende saldos, we can remember we are practicing for the test. Op die eindig, ons is besig om te werk na wat in graad 12 van jou verwag word. In grade 12, they expect you to do the statement budget of a company. Al verskil tussen 'n graad 12 en 'n graad 11 staat van finansiële posisie. I just want to get mine is here. You have share capital and retained income. Dis al verskil. Daar's twee ander, dis 'n ander vorm van eienaarskap. In a company, there will be share capital and retained income. Ons werk met 'n vennootskap, so dis kapitaal en privaat rekeninge. The rest of this is exactly like it is in grade 11. Dis net hierso waar daar volgende jare verandering is. So we are working towards grade 12. Dis waarmee ons besig is. So kom ons kyk na die inligting. There's a list of balances. Hierdie keer het ek 'n hele paar vraagtekens gesit. There's quite a number of question marks. So dit beteken van daardie inligting moet jy kan bereken. If there's a question mark, for some of that you will need to be able to calculate, and one of the question marks will be the missing one. Een van die vraagtekens is jou ontbrekende bedrag, the missing one. Is julle by? So kom dit, daar's al die saldos. So when you tackle a question like this, you start with the additional information. Jy begin met die addisionele inligting, want dit gaan 'n rol speel in calculating the question marks. Is julle by daarmee? The first one is 25,000 of the fixed deposit matures on 1 November. Ander woorde, hulle sê nie vir jou wat is die vaste deposito nie. They just tell you that whatever it is, 25,000 of that is going to change into cash and cash equivalents. Dis eintlik wat daai stukkie vir jou sê. So that 25,000 cannot be the fixed deposit. All we know is that 25,000 of the amount changes into cash and cash equivalents. Dis al wat jy weet. Jy weet nie wat is die vaste deposito nie, maar jy weet wel dat R25,000 verander na kontant en kontant ekwivalente. Are you okay with that? We still don't know what it is. All we know is that whatever it is, 25,000 is now no longer fixed deposit, it's now cash and cash equivalents. Is julle by daarmee? Because remember, that part of the fixed deposit that matures within the next year changes to cash and cash equivalents. Kan jy dit onthou? Dis mos een van die reëls wat jy moet ken. So now we've dealt with that one. Dan, volgens die leningsooreenkoms moet 5% per maand op die kapitale bedrag betaal word. So that means within the next year, there's going to be 12 months in the next year, 5,000 times 12, 60,000 of your loan is no longer non-current liability. Dit verander mos in 'n bedryfslas. because that part of the loan you are paying next year changes into a current liability. So wat moet ek hier nou onthou? I'm going to write it next to loan. Ek het my lening, daar's my lening. Times 5,000, which is 60,000. And now you have to make your own abbreviations. Dit gaan nou in my boek current liability se afkorting is dis. Dis 'n bedryfslas. I mustn't forget that I need to minus the 60,000 so that I remember 90,000 is now non-current, 60,000 is current. Is julle by daarmee? Do all of you understand that? But onthou, hierdie vraag kom uit my matriekvraagstel. I just changed, made it easier. Ek het nie al die aanswerings gevra nie. I really took this from the paper that I wrote the other day. Dit is, want jy gaan dit in graad 12 moet kan doen. It's not going to be new work in grade 12. The only new work is share capital and retained income. Al die ander goed is wat jy nou moet doen. Right, next one. Hierdie een, ek weet nie meer wat om te sê oor hom nie. Rent income account showed a balance of 113,000. Dis met ander woorde, dis die rekening se saldo. Rent for March is still outstanding. That means it's the accrued income. Daar's 'n opgelope inkomste. You must calculate what ek kan nie meer oor hierdie X praat nie. This is the one with the X. So that amount, I'm going to write here next to accrued income. Ek het langs opgelope inkomste 'n vraagteken gesit. You will find this if you done number 3. Ek gaan net hierso dit inkleed, jy kan sien. You have to do additional information number 3. En die antwoord wat jy daar kry is die een wat jy soek. Is jy by daarmee? You must be, I cannot, this X is in the grade, this was the grade 12 paper. Dit was 'n graad 12 vraag hierdie. Exactly like you've been doing. Dis regtig soos wat jy dit. Ek het regtig daai ding uit die graad 12 vraestel gaan haal. So the answer is, once you've calculated the X, remember the rent that you still have to receive is after the increase. Jy moet eers vir X uitwerk, and then X plus the 15% will give you your new rent. Nou, jy weet mos dit. And it's income that we still have to receive. Dit gaan jy kan uitwerk. The telephone account for March was received but not paid. Wat noem jy 'n rekening wat jy ontvang het maar nog nie betaal het nie? What is that? What do you call an expense that you received but not paid yet? Wat moet jy daarmee maak? What is that called? Accrued expense. So nommer 4 is die opgelope uitgawe. Can you see there's a question mark for accrued expenses? So as jy nou nommer 4 doen, if you do number 4, you will get the amount, kan jy die opgelope uitgawe kry. Is julle by daarmee? Do you understand how this works? Okay. Number 5. Number 5 is skryfhoef. This is ongebruik stationery to the value of that is unused. What do you call stationery that you still have left at the end of the year? Consumable stores on hand. Kyk of jy miskien vir verbruiksgoedere voorhande moet inkry. Consumable stores on hand. Vraagtekentjie. So once you have the amount for 5, dan gaan jy dit kan kry. Can you see how easy it's some of the question marks amounts? Okay, jy sien hoe maklik is party. Is julle okay daarmee? Are we fine? Number 6, number 6. This I took from the grade 12, specifically this one. Die ander het ek makliker gemaak, maar nummer 6 en nummer 3 het ek uit die graad 12 vraestel gevat. An urgent payment of 25,000 rand to a creditor was made, but not recorded yet. 'n dringende betaling van 50,000 rand aan 'n krediteur is gemaak, maar nie aangeteken nie. So what happened? You paid your creditor, which means creditors will decrease. And where did the money come from? The bank. So what will happen to the money in the bank? Gaan mos ook verminder. So kom ons gaan skryf dit dan nou in. Next to creditors control, I'm going to write minus 25,000 because we paid the creditor. We just didn't record it yet. Ons het mos die krediteur betaal, dis net nie aangeteken nie. Is julle by daarmee? And next to bank, there was 15,000 in the bank. We are now spending 25,000. What is the effect of that on bank? Wat gebeur nou met jou bank as jy al die geld uitgee? Bank is now an overdraft. So when I get to my statement, I cannot add bank to cash and cash equivalents, want daar is nie meer geld in nie. It now changed into an overdraft. For the past 7 years in grade 12 final exam, they did something to bank, where bank changed from a positive debit balance into a credit balance by giving an adjustment like that. Jy moet dit verstaan, jy moet weet, as jy geld uitgee, wat jy nie het nie, dan verander die bank van 'n bate into a current liability called bank overdraft. Is julle by daarmee? Is julle alright? Okay, that was number 6. Number 7, the fixed deposit at FNB is the missing amount. So, as ek my hier begin, gaan ek sommer dadelik hierso kan inskryf. Jy kan sien ek het die woorde uitgehaal, because this is how your answer sheet will look in grade 12. They give you, ek gaan dit nou kleiner maak dat jy die hele ding kan sien. They do not give you the full answer sheet met al die woorde. Hulle maak dit, hulle het so lyk. They give you the, ek is nou jammer, is nou baie klein, maar ek wil net jy moet kan sien, ek gaan nog 'n bietjie kleiner moet maak. They will tell you this is the statement, dan is daar 'n bate afdeling, there is 'n equity and liabilities part. Assets are divided into non-current and current assets. Eienaarsbelang en laste is owner's equity, non-current en bedryfslaste. Dis hoe hulle vir jou gee, so that you have something to work with. Now, I teach my grade 12s and I hope you will follow the method as well. When I get this, before you do anything, write in the wording, skryf die woorde in, because then it's so much easier to find the amounts if you know what it is you are looking for. Ek gaan nou weer groter maak, dat jy kan sien. So, I start with fixed assets. Non-current assets is my fixed assets and my financial assets. Ek moet weet, nie bedryfsbates is my vaste bates teen draewaarde en my beleggings of my finansiële bate wat my vaste deposito is. So I already know that my fixed deposit is my missing amount. Ek kan hom nie uitwerk voor ek hierdie hele ding klaar gedoen het nie. Is julle by daarmee? Are you fine with that? Then for current assets, I know I start, it must be in this order, it must be inventories, dan handels en ander ontvangbares, then cash and cash equivalents. You cannot, because if it's wrong, dan, ek wens ek kan dit nou wag. Ek wil gou vir julle iets wys. Just give me a minute. Ek wens gou julle vra, ek wil vir julle vrae stel wys. Nie die vrae stel nie, I want to show you the marking guideline. Grade 12, grade 11, I'm just looking for, here's the marking guide. Right, I want, you can look here. Kyk gou hierso. Marking guidelines, né? Kyk gou mooi wat staan hierso. Codes F for foreign. So as jy, sê maar jy het nou you've done the statement of comprehensive income, and inside that statement you have accumulated depreciation, not supposed to be in that statement. It's -1. Can you see that? This is the marking guidelines that they work with at the end of grade 12. So we obviously must, in grade 10 and grade 11, we must follow the same marking guidelines. Otherwise, by the time you're in grade 12, en ons doen dit nie so nie, gaan jy ewe skielik aan die einde van graad 12 baie minder punte kry. Can you see P for placement or presentation? Dit beteken as jy in statement of financial position, if your placement is wrong, it is supposed to be in that statement, but you wrote it on the wrong place. It's -1 for placement. So let's say you put fixed deposit under current liabilities. It belongs in that statement, but it's not a current liability. It's -1 because you placed it at the wrong place. Is julle by? This is really not, this comes from the DBE. Ek kan niks hieromtrent verander nie. So here you can see, you can see this is the test of, look there. Can you see this? Kyk gou mooi hierso. Penalties for foreign applied only if the candidate is not losing marks somewhere else. That means if you made a placement in error, but you didn't get any marks, then I cannot write -1. Ek kan nie vir jou 'n negatiewe getal. You cannot have a minus for something. Hier kan julle regtig waarsien. Full marks for correct answer. If the answer is incorrect, mark the workings provided. That's why I say show me your calculations. Because if your answer is wrong, I can go to the calculations and see what I can give. Is julle by hiermee? It's not my rules. Dis regtig nie my reels hierdie nie. And we are, remember, I have to prepare you for what you need to know in grade, how they mark in grade 12, wat jy moet weet in graad 12. This is now, what are you writing tomorrow? Skryf julle enigiets môre? Nothing? So hierdie oefeningkie is nou huiswerk vir môre. I would really recommend that you do this exercise, so jy kan sien daar waar jy nie verstaan nie. In class tomorrow, I'm going to go through the exercise step by step, but it doesn't help me if I do the exercise now and you just copy my work. Want ek gaan nie vir die memo saam met jou vraestel uitdeel nie. Jy moet dit kan doen. Remember, I do not need to ask the whole statement, want ek het mos net 100 punte. I can just ask the assets, or I can just ask current assets for that matter. Of ek kan net vra nie bedryfslaste en bedryfslaste. Doesn't matter, but part of this statement or the full statement will be is in your test. Dis of die hele staat of stukkies van die staat is reeds in jou toets. Ek het klaar die toets opgestel. You can see the marking guideline is already done. Dis klaar opgestel. So you must be able to do this. And remember, it's the same. I have to prepare you for grade 12 in graad 12. Vra dit oor en oor en oor with this missing amount. Hulle gee vir jou baie vraagtekens. Some of the question marks, you can get the information by doing the adjustments. There's going to be one missing amount. En as jy daai een bedragie kan kry, dan kan jy jou staat voltooi. Is julle by hiermee? Is there anyone who has a problem? Next year, first term is companies. All the adjustments you are doing now will be in companies. There is 2 new things. Paying the tax and paying dividends on the shares. Dis al wat bykom. Al die ander aansuiwerings lyk dieselfde. The income statement looks the same. Statement of comprehensive income looks exactly the same. It's presies dieselfde. To be honest, I took the statement of comprehensive income that the grade 12 wrote. I took that and I changed that for your test now. Want ek weet mos dis wat jy volgende jaar moet kan doen. I made some of them, just the degree of difficulty changes for the adjustments. So ek het die aansuiwerings 'n bietjie makliker gemaak. But you must be able to do that statement. Jy moet hierdie staat kan doen. And then there's another statement that you have to learn next year, which is the cash flow statement. So that next year we can focus primarily on the new statement. Hierdie jaar moet jy hierdie werk onder die knie kan kry. Is julle okay, mense? Are we fine? Can I switch off? You know what please do not fool yourself by not doing this. Rather do and get it wrong. As om dit glad nie te doen nie, want dan gaan jy dit nie kan doen in die toets nie. I sent your stuff for moderation. It is not back yet. Sodra ek dit terugkry, sal ek vir julle uitdeel. As soon as I have it back from Ms. Moses, then I will hand it out to you. Sodra dit terug is, sal ek dit vir julle gee. Okay? Can I switch off my screen?